Storm.
And we are back with another episode of the Unsportsmanlike podcast. I am your host, Marcus, and today I am here with my guy,
Nicholas. So, to Marcus, I'm gonna hop right into this. Now, what's going on down there in Tennessee with Nico? What are your thoughts? What do you feel? Give me the layout.
Honestly, my thoughts on it is when you give these athletes this much free will to do whatever the fuck they want to do, this is the result that you'll get, right? I mean, you got guys like Nico, who was being offered $2.2 million last year to play subpar football. And if you don't believe me about the subpar football part, go back and watch that game late in October against Alabama. He overthrew like 4 or 5 touchdowns. Seriously, if you want to talk about some subpar football, go watch Nico back there in the pocket consistently, time after time after time again, overthrow receivers that are butt booty naked wide open. And brother, my thing is, you want $4 million? You're making $2.2 million to be subpar. You're making $2.2 million to be subpar. So I don't understand it. And my whole thought process on the NIL, Nick Saban told us, we didn't listen. He tried to warn us. We didn't listen. I hate the NIL. I hate it because I miss those days where players actually grinded to be good football players. You got players nowadays, okay, Nick, let's say hypothetically speaking, I offer you, let's say the University of Miami offered you $5 million. Let's say the University of Alabama offered you $900,000. Guess where the hell you're going?
Miami.
You're going to the U, baby. And guess what else? You might not even want to go there. You honestly, in your head, you do not want to go there. But instead, you decide to take your talents down to Miami, and now you're playing subpar football. You're losing on top of that because Miami, they're up and down. You don't know what Miami Hurricane team you're going to get. Instead, you go up there instead of going to a prestigious university like Alabama, who I'm using as an example. You got Georgia, Clemson. I don't even know why the fuck I even said Clemson. I'm just fucking talking. Not Clemson because they're not like they're used to be, right? You got Georgia, you got Alabama, Ohio State, you got Texas, right? I mean, those are the premier schools still. No matter how you look at it, they're still the premier schools. So my whole thought process on this Nico situation is this is what happens when you give players grounds to do whatever the hell they want to do. This is the result. And I'm going to sit here and tell you this. Knoxville, Tennessee, you're in trouble because, for one, you don't have a quarterback, right? Nico is supposed to be you guys' Lord and Savior, supposed to be your captain save-a-hole. Obviously, he ain't saving shit because guess what? He's gone. He is gone. So I read an article from Urban Meyer said today. He said it is time to panic. If you're a fan in Knoxville, Tennessee, it is time to panic. It is time to panic because as of right now, who is your quarterback? And then on top of this, you got Florida with DJ Lagway, much better than he was last year. And then on top of this, you have to go to Titletown, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and where they sing Dixieland Delight. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that if you're an Alabama fan. So it's going to be a gauntlet next year in the SEC. So what is Tennessee going to do at the quarterback position? Now that you lost Nico, who's supposed to be, like I said, your Lord and Savior, I don't know what you're going to do. What's your thoughts?
So my thoughts are, to address Urban Meyer, Josh Heupel is a smart man. He's put 2 quarterbacks in the NFL. He wouldn't, and they are subpar quarterbacks at that. Let's not sit here and act like he doesn't know that he's got some guy on the bench that could play better, if not the same level as Nico. And that got them to the playoffs last year. So I don't think Josh Heupel would have just let
It
Nico
wasn't because
go.
of Nico. Because of Nico. Because let's not forget, it may have been September, October, maybe November-ish. Didn't Nico lose to Arkansas?
Yeah,
Didn't he play piss poor against Alabama and they still won?
Yeah.
But that's because of Jalen Milroe. That's another conversation for another fucking day.
Yeah, well, Jalen Milroe's, yeah. But the thing
Watch your
is,
mouth. Watch your mouth.
I want to get into that, but we're not gonna.
You're not
Josh
even a State
Heupel is.
fan. You don't know anything about winning.
I can comment on quarterbacks. Josh Heupel is not. He's not dumb. He made the decision to make his stand because he knows he is a better quarterback on the bench, and I'm just letting all these people run their mouth, panic. Tennessee's going to be just fine. The defense is still intact. The wide receiver room didn't leave because Nico left, so you're okay there.
Are you Are you
And
sure? Are you sure? Their best receiver is not there. What are we doing? Their best receiver is not there.
as of when I looked this
Squirrel
up,
White is no longer there. What are we doing? He was their best receiver for the past 2 years. He's the one that smoked Alabama a couple years ago in Bryant Denny. What are you talking about? Squirrel
okay,
White
but
isn't there.
you act like this Bama team is the team that Saban had. I have no faith.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Squirrel White isn't there. You said their receiver room is still stacked. Is Squirrel White there? Is
Okay, it's
Squirrel White
not.
there?
It's
Answer my
not
question.
stacked.
No. Is Squirrel White there?
No, none of them are
What are
there.
we
None
doing?
of the great wide receivers that they had the last
So
few
how
years
so
are
how
there.
can so how can you sit here and say that is a talented receiver room?
I'm saying, well, first off, they all got Division One offers in the SEC. They're
That don't
talented.
mean
First off,
nothing. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't
oh
mean
my gosh,
anything.
you're
It doesn't mean a
no,
thing.
no, no.
No. Because let's do this. I've seen a lot of high school football in my life. I've seen a shit ton of high school football. You can play in a terrible team and still look great. When you get to the next level, it doesn't translate. So let's not do that, right? I mean, because if we're talking about Tennessee football right now, there's not one name that jumped off the board outside of Squirrel White. There's not one. And
Yes,
if there
but
is, let me know.
what I'm saying when I say that to Marcus is that the portal opened up today. You know how many names I've heard say I'm hopping in the portal from Tennessee, and that's Nico. If the team was that high because of Nico, and Josh Heupel thinks that he's got a better quarterback than Nico on the roster already, I think Tennessee will be just fine.
Let me ask you a question. Who was the best player on that Tennessee team last year?
Samson?
Okay, is he there?
No, I didn't graduate.
Oh, so he's not there, right? He carried majority of their load. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, but
He was
I'm next guy up.
answer my other question. He was the reason. He was the choo choo to the train,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. He's not there. Squirrel White's not there. Nico's not there. There is time. There is a panic button going off in Knoxville, Tennessee right now. Whether you believe it or not, there is a panic button. That's like saying Ryan Williams leaving Alabama. There is a panic button going on. If Ryan was to leave Alabama today, everybody in Tuscaloosa would not know what to do with themselves. Am I lying or am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, if Ryan Williams was to leave Alabama right now, it is time to panic.
Okay, well,
See, if I am a Tennessee fan, I am panicking right now because whether we believe it or not, Nico wasn't that great last year, but he gave them hope. That is what football is all about. It's all about hope. He gave them hope. He's one of the best players to come to Tennessee in a mighty long time. They haven't had a legit quarterback since. Can you help me out here? I'm trying to think.
The sheriff.
Josh Dobbs, subpar. Should I keep going?
The sheriff. That was their last quarterback.
Since Peyton Manning? Well, they had T. Martin. Can't even disrespect T. Martin. So, like I said, it is time to panic. And then they had Jared Guantanamo, whatever his name was. What was his name? Guantanamo, whatever his name is. He subpar. So, yes, it is time to panic in Knoxville, whether we believe it or not. But
see,
guess what?
You can't have it both ways, though, right? You're telling me that the SEC is so great, all this, all that. You're telling me that those Tennessee wide receivers are not better than anything that Iowa State has on their roster in the wide receiver room.
We all know Iowa State is like the dumpster juice at the bottom of a dumpster. We know that. They're not great. They're not a great team. They're
closer to the playoffs than Bama.
Hey, but guess what, buddy? You wanna know something else funny? Since I've been born, since I've been alive, I've witnessed 7 national championships to your 0. So don't even go there, buddy. On top of that, I've seen a back-to-back. Don't even go there because you're gonna lose this conversation. So shall I continue?
All
Shall
I'm
I
saying,
continue?
for
No,
the
answer my
sake,
question. Answer my
no,
question. I've seen 7
no,
compared to your 0. I don't have to see another one. I've seen 7 of those things. 7. 7. How many national championship shirts do you have? How many?
enough.
No.
So
Answer my question. How many national championship shirts do you have?
none,
How many in the college football playoff era do you have?
none. Now,
No, let me finish.
can we?
Who has the most national championships in the college football era?
You.
Roll damn tide. So
All
stay
right.
in your place.
Now,
Stay in your place. Stay in your
all
place.
right.
Stay in your place.
Let's get back on track here. We're
Stay in your
rambling
place.
about some shit that don't even fucking matter.
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
First off,
Let's go.
secondly, uh, I think Nico, you need to grow the hell up. You need to come out and tell us if this was your doing, if this was your agent slash family's doing, and you also need to come up and man up on whether or not. Because I saw something today about how it wasn't a good offensive fit. But are you serious? Are you serious? Come on. He's put Hendon Hooker in the NFL, and he also put Joe Milton
Trash.
in the NFL.
Trash. Well, not Joe Milton. I ain't gonna lie. I just think he's just not on a good Patriots team that really will develop him because he's actually okay. Well, watching him at the Senior Bowl, trash. So yeah, I understand.
So,
Trash.
so personally, I need to see that from Nico, but I also applaud Josh Heupel because I don't think he's an idiot. As
Uh,
far as the what you go and what you do from here, I honestly think you need to restrict it to 5 stars get this certain amount of money, no more, no less. So then that way it's back to I'm going to this school because I want to go there,
you know
not
what's
I'm
crazy?
going to this school because they're giving me most money.
You know what's crazy? I got a story. And so I remember covering this kid in high school. I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to say what school he went to, but I remember covering this kid in high school. Top tier receiver. Um, was a legacy actually. Well, it wasn't really related to the player that came out of that school. I'm not going to say his name as well because whatever. He actually committed to the Tide, right? Was committed to the Tide. Decided to decommit and head to Auburn. Mind you, this. So, based off my source, they wanted to play him at safety, but it just didn't really make much sense because let's think about it like this: Auburn gave you a bag. So, my question to this day would be: did you really want to go to Auburn? Because I look at it like this: you're at Auburn, sitting on the bench right now. Well, you could have been at Alabama with that terrible ass receiving room outside of Ryan Williams last year. Jimmy Bernard came on at the end. I'll give him that. But Emmanuel Henderson, we didn't see anything. Other guys, we just didn't see anything. Right? So, I mean, at that point, whose receiving room was worse? Bama receiving was pretty bad. And you decided to go to Auburn and sitting on the bench. I'm not going to say any names, but that's another story for another day. That's just what I'm saying. Basically, that's what I'm saying. You're going to start seeing a lot more players get these bags to go to schools that they really don't want to go to. They really don't want to go to. Who the fuck really want to go to Auburn? If you're an offensive player, see, think about that. That's all I'm saying. You're a defensive player. I get it. Auburn always has a legit offense, but always have a legit defense. I'm sorry, but their offense has always been terrible, right? So if I'm a receiver, why am I going to Auburn when they haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver in like over 20 years?
Yeah, but again, so that's why I think that's how you fix it. 5 stars. But I don't want to say it's a million, right? But I'm gonna throw out easy numbers here, right? Let's just say 5 stars. All right, you get a mil. 4 stars, you get 75 or 75 or 750,000. Jesus, I can't talk. And then your 3 stars, you get half a mil. And then your 2 stars, you get a
Three
quarter of a
stars,
mil.
3 star, half a mil. I wouldn't even give them 500. I give them 300. That's enough.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's where I think you need to go. Is I think you need to start capping it at certain points, and it needs to be the same.
But then
Just
again,
because you're Alabama and you got more money than Kansas State, nope, it's the same across the
I'm gonna
board.
tell you like this though. I once heard this saying, and I could be saying this wrong. You can't compete where you don't compare. And say that again for the people in the back. You can't compete where you can't compare. Simple as that. So what I mean by that is South Alabama can't compete with Texas. Kansas State can't compete with an Alabama. That's what I mean by you can't compete where you can't compare. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's never they're never going to put a cap on it. Do I hate the NIL? NIL? I hate this shit. I absolutely hate it. Because first off, it's stopping Alabama from getting more championships. Number two, it retired my old GOAT Nick Saban, the best thing that ever happened to the team and down there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. If Nick Saban was here and there was no NIL, you and I both know we would be sitting here saying, "Damn, Nick Saban got 10 championships."
It's because he was paying them before they could legally pay him.
Hey, well, at the end of the day, whether you believe, you can believe whatever the hell you want to believe, but nothing has ever come out about my GOAT Saban.
You know why I hate Saban?
Why do you hate Saban? Because he wins and your
No,
team doesn't?
because he ruined my Dolphins.
Hey, guess
Ruined them.
what? Guess
Set them
what,
back a
Nick?
decade.
Guess what, Nick? Get over it. They were already
No.
they were already terrible before you became a fan. So get over it. You're never gonna win the Super Bowl, so get over it. Because you got Tua turn the ball over. Get over it. But let's
Yeah.
get back on topic.
Stupid ass Alabama alumni.
Yeah,
Fucking
whatever.
terrible.
Who's also on a natty, but continue.
Worst quarterback to come out of fucking Bama in the last
Yeah,
10
okay.
years.
All right, Nick. Whatever. Now you're just rambling on. Cause stat wise, hey, my quarterback is shitting on yours. But let's continue. But yeah, man, I just think the NIL is just I'm not a fan of it, man.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it because it allows us to play college football back on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean,
It allows me to get an official jersey from my school.
yeah, but you suck on the video game. You and I both know that. But
It's literally just you. I don't understand. I can run anybody but you, but this is a conversation for another time. And we're
yeah, I
not
beat you by
this
50 every
podcast.
time we play. You want to play again tonight? Because we can sure do it. I'm gonna beat
No,
your
that
ass again.
PlayStation. I'm not plugging in that PlayStation for like another 3 days. I'm enjoying my break. It's been
Yeah, whatever.
blissful.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
let's get to the important topic. The Lakers' run to the title starts on Saturday night against the Tea Puppies, and I am so happy that Bron's got an easy path to the chip because we're gonna smack the Tea Puppies around,
I'm not gonna
and we're
say
gonna
I'm not gonna sit here and say it'll be easy, but I think the Lakers.
come on. Who
I
gonna
think
guard
the Lakers.
Bron?
I think the Lakers win in 5.
Who's guarding
Just what I
Bron?
think.
Who's guarding Bron?
Damn, nobody.
All right. Who on the Rockets is gonna guard Bron? Or potentially the Warriors. Probably Draymond or probably Dylan Brooks. Both of them.
So are we just sitting here saying that the Warriors are gonna just beat the Rockets?
No. I think the Rockets. To be honest with you, I think this is how it's going to go. It is going to be a Lakers versus Thunder Western Conference Finals, and the Lakers will have beaten the Timberwolves, and they will have beaten the Rockets to get there. I think that the Memphis Grizzlies will give the Thunder absolutely zero problems because I don't think that the Grizzlies even deserve to be in the position that they're in. And then I don't think that the Nuggets have what it takes anymore to beat the Clippers. So it's going to be Thunder Clippers, and then Thunder will beat them, and it'll be a Lakers Thunder matchup. And unfortunately, come on, bring it to the real title town of LA. That's where this
And
natty
the
or
only
where the
reason and the
championship.
only reason why I don't think the Thunder will win the title, they just don't have playoff. They don't have enough playoff experience. They don't have that one guy on that team that's just been there that knows what to do. I mean, not saying they can't go. It's not what I'm saying, but I don't think they just have enough experience to, play against a team like the Nuggets or the Lakers who've been to championships, who's played in multiple championships. You know what I'm saying? So I think all that matters. And I mean, it's gonna be quite the test. Can't wait. Now let's go over to the Eastern Conference. What's your thoughts?
I think it's going to be a. I think that the Cavs got a great shot at.
Do they beat the Celtics in a 7-game series if they were to face off against each other?
Yes, I think the Celtics have looked far more predictable and far more beatable this year than they did last year.
How would it be to have a Lakers Cavs NBA final? Because at that
Brother,
point
it's
it's
the
like this. It's
script.
like that. See, at that point it's like this. If you're a fan of the Cavs, of course you grew up a LeBron James fan,
Mm.
even though he's on your Lakers. So do you vote? I mean, are you a fan of the Cavs or are you a fan of LeBron at that point? I mean, because if you live in Akron, Ohio, of course you're gonna have to cheer for your Cavs. But can the Cavs beat the Lakers in a 7-game series?
Yeah,
The
I mean
Cavs
that
can
one's
beat the Lakers in a 7-game series.
Yeah,
Because what my
in a
thing, my
real
question is,
world, yes.
what has Donovan Mitchell showed in the playoffs? Nothing.
I don't know. To be honest with you, I think he's been sandbagging. To be honest with you, that's the team that scares me, and so do the Celtics, because those are when our guards for the Lakers are going to get exposed. Luka's not a great defender. Reeves is just too small, unfortunately. Jalen Brown would just back him down, and then at that point, if I don't know who's going to guard Porzingis,
You don't have
it,
anybody.
it's tough. It would be tough. I don't know if the Lakers could beat the Celtics. For the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell's great.
He doesn't scare
I
you
was
though.
No, he doesn't scare me. And their Darius Garland, not great.
Mm, he's not
Evan
bad, but he
Mobley,
doesn't scare you either. Devin Mobley, yeah, Evan Mobley, nah,
and I'm sorry, but Jared Allen also doesn't really scare me. So
nah. So I mean, this is gonna be an interesting playoffs. I'm excited. It starts this weekend. I think the Lakers got a night game for game one. No, I gotta go back and look at the schedule, but I'm excited to see. So give me your Western and Eastern Conference Finals.
it's gonna be the Lakers Thunder, and it's gonna be the Cavs Celtics.
Hmm. All right, Lakers. Who do you got winning the Lakers? I'm pretty sure you got the Lakers. How much do they beat the Lakers in five?
Lakers in five.
All right, what about Celtics Cavs?
6 game series. Cavs win.
Who has home court? The Celtics or the Cavs? The Cavs.
Cavs.
You got to go down to Akron, Ohio, the place that LeBron James built. This is going to get really interesting. I'm excited to see it. Um, I'm excited for the playoffs, man. I think it's going to be absolute bedlam. I'm not taking a phrase from Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State rivalry, which is called bedlam. But I'm excited to see who brings home the title this year. Of course, we can keep you guys up to date on every single game. You can catch me on my Snapchat at sports_addict. That's sports_addict. You can catch me on Instagram at Tamarcus D Lane, YouTube. All of it is the same. So, hey, that's all the time that we have tonight. Again, I'm your host of the Unsportsmanlike podcast, Tamarcus, and got my guy.
Nick.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one.